Okay, you see the title, Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin Week 1 update. This is the third update of the day. Now we're doing my alma mater where I played at Ole Miss. I just had my former teammate EJ Epperson on there. Go look up that interview. It was pretty cool. It's a lot going on with Ole Miss. You see what I got under my name? Hold on. Lane Train. It's all about Coach Lane Kiffin. He's making a lot of waves on Twitter and in the news, as always, in Lane Kiffin fashion. Also want to say thank you. I know it's your brother, but thank you for rehiring the other Coach Kiffin, the D-line coach, because he was there when I was there. So shout out to Coach Kiffin. He was always a good guy. The other Coach Kiffin, when you say Coach Kiffin, they think you're talking about Lane Train. But he's not the only one. You got Monty Kiffin, and then you also have his brother. I call him Coach Kiffin. I never called him by his first name. Just give me 1 second. But yeah, man, we got a big game this weekend against Furman. I believe it's on a SEC network, or is it on ESPNU? Let me see. Yeah, Coach Chris Kiffin. That's what I was thinking about. I'm used to calling him Coach, so that's why I didn't know your first name. Sorry about that, Coach. But let me see what network Ole Miss game is on. But I really want to talk about guys like Walter Nolan. I'm going to do a film review on his brother, Warren Nolan. He looks to be an Ole Miss Rebel in our 2025 class. For all those people that say we only hit the portal, you're wrong. We just very selective in high school recruiting. And I say we because I'm a part of it. Who we, like Callis say, once a rebel, always a rebel. But I'm trying to look at where you can find the game on television. So it's gonna be a 7:00 Eastern time kickoff on SEC Network Plus or on ESPN Plus. So if you got the ESPN app on your television or on your smartphone, just look up Ole Miss. Please support our program. We're on the rise. We're number 6 in the nation. We really should be number 1. But it's a lot of write-ups going on. I see they have a story here on Athlon saying that Pat McAfee fiercely defends Lane Kiffin over Nick Saban. I wonder what that's about. So I'm gonna just click on it. I'm not gonna bring it up because last live stream the screen kind of went dead because I had too much open. So I'll just read it to you guys, and I'll probably pop up the graphic when I go over the depth chart. But shout out to Walter Nolan. Shout out to Princely Ulimer. Princely U. I can't pronounce your name. I'm sorry, sir. But shout out to Princely U. Shout out to that whole defense. We got Amos out there at corner. We got him from Alabama. Unfortunately, Deion Smith, the number 1 JUCO wide receiver in the country, will not be able to join our receiving corps with Trey Harris. So that's a big shot to us. We treat it like an injury. Hopefully, Deion can still join us for the school year, and maybe he redshirt this year and play his senior year here next year. I hate to lose him because he's a great talent. But the story says Ole Miss head coach Lane Kiffin created more headlines at his press conference Monday, this time in an effort to clear up another media storm. And by the way, some people were like, why I call him a fool? That's just, you're not supposed to call anybody a fool in the Bible. I know the South is the Bible Belt, but that's just slang. That's just saying, look, Coach Lane Kiffin is a cool guy, because I was saying he's cool on Twitter, how he interacts, but he knows how far to go, because Coach Ryan Day, they were saying that Ohio State spent $20 million on their team, and Kurt Herbstreit said they always have talent. That doesn't mean it's championship or bust. Don't put pressure on Ryan Day. But like I said, Lane Kiffin do the gun in Ryan Day's lap. He said $20 million, that's championship or bust. And that's interesting, because what if Ole Miss and Ohio State meet each other in the playoff? I'm picking Ole Miss. But let's get back to the story. It says he was taken up for his old buddy and boss Nick Saban, who recently caught heat for allegedly calling Lane Kiffin narcissistic with a curse word following. However, after appropriate research was done, it turns out the Saban quote wasn't even true. So on Monday, Kiffin said it was a shame that Saban words got turned around, and explained what an issue such a misunderstanding have become in college, in sports coverage. I'm sorry, the screen hopping up and down. So basically, these are based off of interviews on Pat McAfee. They had AJ, what is his name? AJ Hawk up there, and Pat McAfee. They were interviewing Kiffin, interviewing Saban. Saban is quoting and saying, "I never made a quote about Lane Kiffin, so that wasn't me." Ole Miss is going to be good and they're going to look like a big time program up front. I mean, he knows, remember 2014, 2015, not taking a shot. Even 2016, that Alabama team that went on to the championship against under 500 Ole Miss team that lacked defense, we gave them all they can handle. Wasn't that like that was Chad Kelly's last year? Yeah, shout out to Chad Kelly too. He's doing good things in Canada. Okay, so now the article goes on to say, following Kiffin's comments on the matter, McAfee responded with a here in concurrence. Lane, he quoted as saying, Lane Kiffin's done this a few times, noted McAfee. He seems like in his mind, I've let a lot of people get away with saying a lot of things over the years. That's kind of spot that kind of stops now. So basically, he was saying that Lane Kiffin isn't going to let people continue to hit him with the boy comments because he was a 32-year-old head coach. He was one of the first young head coaches. So the people used to try to little boy him, and he created this new wave. That's why you see the Sean McVays and the Kyle Shanahans, even though they're getting older now. But back in the day, Lane Kiffin and Mike Tomlin were the first young head coaches under 40. But I guess he wants his respect as a grown man, as a full adult now. Okay, so he's quoted as saying, I think this is McAfee's. McAfee continued to say, I appreciate that he addressed it, and I appreciate that Coach Saban came out and spoke the way that he did about it, all to kind of settle the thing. So basically, I don't know what the relationship is with Pat McAfee. Maybe it's clout. Maybe he loves Ole Miss. I know he's a West Virginia guy. My choices for colleges were Ole Miss and West Virginia, and I chose Ole Miss. So maybe he's having second thoughts. Maybe want to be a rebel. But basically, McAfee himself noted that he and his show have had to correct issues in the past, since it's a crazy world out here in 2024 in media. So I totally agree. Like, even if I make a mistake, if I misquote a quote, I like Princely, Yumera. I'm trying to say your name. Yumela. I'm gonna get your name down. So somebody put it in a chat, the actual pronunciation, because I know how to spell it. But Princely Yumela. Is that how you say it? But anyway, I'm gonna correct that, and I'm apologizing. But basically, Pat McAfee was saying that's what he's gonna do. But I want to get to the roster in a second. So the end of the article, it just says we've been wrong before. We've had to come out and say we apologize because we're going to because you're going to get out there. I don't know what he meant by that. Because you're going to get got out there. Okay, get got out there. Yeah, I'm trying to squint and see. Okay, but there's a lot more of that happening nowadays than ever. Yeah, so there's a lot of people that don't practice journalistic integrity. Because I know I'm fumbling over my words. I apologize, but I studied under a lady named Robin Street in the Farley School of Journalism at the University of Mississippi. So I'm not some YouTuber. I actually was trained for this, and I'm probably embarrassing her, not speaking proper English. But I'm kind of nervous because my last live stream, it went out on me for 30 seconds. I hope you guys go look at that Colorado preview, but look at the Ole Miss one first, because you never know. In a strange world, maybe everybody loses in the Big 12 and Colorado has to go and play Ole Miss in the playoffs. You never know. So let's be ready. Let's know our opponent. So now you see this old Colorado roster on All Ads. We're going to bring up the Ole Miss roster because that's the last update I did. Got these stupid ads in the way. I'm going to pull up the Ole Miss roster, and we're going to take a look at a lot of these transfers and a lot of these holes on the defense and offensive line in the running back room that plugged up a weakness we've had for a while, because all the way back in the Matt Luke in the end of the Hugh Freeze era, we always had offense, but the issue was physical running game, not the outside game, because we had the outside running game with the Ulysses Bentleys, or even when you go back to the Jalen Waddles, even the Snoop Connor. Snoop Connor was a physical guy, but we got to get away from those smaller backs and get to bigger backs, and that's where a guy, even though he's third off the bench, they're going to rotate. Number 33, Rashard Amos. He did big things at Miami of Ohio. He's a transfer running back. He should really help the play action game, and he should really help the third and fourth quarter holding on to leads, especially with that new running clock. Well, not running clock, but you don't get the clock stopping at the first downs like the old college football. They want to speed up the games for television. They said it was the fewest possessions that they've ever had in a college football game between Florida State and Georgia Tech since like 2020 or something like that, because it's only a 2-minute warning and they only stop the clock at the first downs under 2 minutes. Other than that, you got to take a timeout. So that's making the games move faster. But even though we didn't get Deion Smith for this year, that's a blessing in disguise because some other guys that earned it and went through camp are going to be able to get their just due. You got Juice Wells. He's a monster, and he's put on weight. Along with another guy that's put on weight is Henry Parrish and Ulysses Bennett. They were hearing how they weren't physical enough. They're not Rashard Amos, but they're physical guys. They can take a little more of a beating. But really, a guy you got to look out for is former All-SEC wide receiver Juice Wells that killed it in camp. And then you got the all-world guy Trey Harris. You know, he's trying to improve his draft stock, maybe a first-round pick. You know, our second-day guy. Same thing with Juice Wells. Then we got Jordan Watkins, Mr. Reliable. Then you also have Aiden Williams winning at number 1. You know, that's a lot to live up to. You know, that's the Quan Treadwell's number. That's the old A.J. Brown number. So we're looking for Mr. Williams to, you know, show up. Then you got Micah Davis that was actually Deion Smith. Micah Davis is going to step in and rotate and come in off the bench behind Trey Harris. And then let's see if Caden Lee can step up, you know. But we always have a surplus of wide receivers, but you want to have more than just 6. You got to go at least 8 deep because you rotate and you never know about injuries when you're talking about a 17, 16 game season, depending on if we get the bye week or not, if we're talking about winning a national championship. Because now you're talking about first round or second round, but then you still got the third round, and then you got the national championship. So that's at least 3 to 4 extra games plus the SEC championship. So you're talking about 13-game regular season and then a 3 to 4 game postseason. So 5 or 6 receivers is not going to do it. But we do have one of the nation's best tight ends in Caden Prescorn, along with the best backup tight end in the Quan Wright from Virginia Tech. When you talk about this offensive line, this has been restructured. You do have Michael Pettis still here at right tackle, but we got Julius Bolo. We got Jaquan Scott at center, very important position. Even though we're going out of the shotgun, we're not really under center, but you still need that quarterback center exchange. Even the backup center is very important in Caleb Warren. These 2 guys are very important. You don't want to have Bryson Sanders out there, even though he can do it. You want experienced guys. These 2 senior centers, they're very important. Now you look at Nate Calippo at guard. He's going to help us a lot in the run game. Then you got Diego Pounds. If you listen to the guy Stephen Willis, he loves Diego Pounds. He just speaks on him, and he speaks volumes about this guy. And I'm hoping that he's going to live up to it because we have a great history, even when we were down. Ole Miss is kind of like the Iowas and the Minnesotas, maybe not to that level, Wisconsin, but we've always been known for offensive linemen coming out of the state of Mississippi. Even when I was coming up as a kid in Miami, I'm a big Miami Dolphins guy. We had a couple linemen from University of Mississippi. We even had a defensive lineman, Tim Bowens. We're going to get to the defensive line because he's getting put up in the stadium this season. So shout out to Tim Bowens and shout out to my Rebels. Of course, we have the all-world quarterback Jackson Dart, and I believe if he takes us to the playoffs, a deep run, or even a national championship, he's up there, if not above Eli, Archie, Matt, what's the guy name? Matt Corral, Chad Kelly, and even my guy Bo Wallace. You know, remember bad Bo and good Bo. We only remember good Bo now because they only remember the good things when you beat Alabama. You know, I was in the building, I was there when we did that. You know, shout out to Jeff Scott. You know, so it's a lot of history and that's in the past, and we want to continue on because Ole Miss has had up and down years ever since that 08 Houston era that led on to the Hugh Freeze era, and from 2012 to like the height of 2015. Now we got this Lane Kiffin era because I heard some people, some pundits on TV speaking uninformed, saying that we don't win big games, and I actually broke down some big games. So before I get to the defense, I want to dispel that rumor right now. They're saying that Ole Miss doesn't win big games. I meant to mention that at the EJ the other day. I want to put death to that rumor. Ole Miss hasn't beat Alabama and Georgia recently, but we have beat top-ranked teams. We just beat Penn State and went 11-2 in the Peach Bowl and the New Year's Six Bowl. And Penn State didn't have many opt-outs, and neither did we. So that was a huge game. That's Penn State. But last year, we beat a 10-win LSU team with a Heisman Trophy winner. They were ranked 13 when we played them. We beat a Tulane number 24 team on the road, and they were tough. In 2022, we beat a number 7 ranked Kentucky team. In 2021, we beat a number 13 ranked Arkansas team and a number 11 ranked Texas A&M team. And then remember, in the bowl game, where we probably didn't even belong, we went to the Outback Bowl and beat the number 11, I think, one loss Indiana team. So throughout this Lane Kiffin era, we actually beat a lot of ranked teams. So whoever says, I think it was Mad Dog from our first take, saying that Ole Miss and Missouri and Kentucky, they're not real factors, do your homework. Yeah, do your homework. Like FBG man, J Man from Chicago says, do your homework. Let's get to this defense. We got Jared Ivey. We got Chris Hardy. Chris Hardy for Alabama. I feel like he's gonna be a big time guy for the Rebels. I'm a fan of it. Nobody else rooting for you, Chris. I'm rooting for you, dog. I just believe you're gonna do big things. Then, the man of the hour, Walter Nolan. Please tell your little brother to commit. I'm gonna do a review on his tape, but please tell him to be a Rebel. It's no need to go to Mississippi State. We already looked at their NIL the other day. The average player at Mississippi State is getting 70K. The average player at Ole Miss is getting 120K. What's the decision to make? And plus, all the fine girls go to Ole Miss. That's what the song used to say. Then you got JJ Pegues. The Pegues family. I know some of them, out of Oxford. That's a local family. So I definitely got to root for that guy. I don't know him personally, but no, I'm glad to see a hometown kid getting his shine. He definitely got some next level future. But Walter Nolan is the first round pick all day. Then we got Presley Human Marin Nellen. I don't know how to say it. Presley U. It's like they say DJ U at Florida State. I know how to say you younger, so I'm going to learn you a Melian. I'm going to learn how to say your name. I'm sorry, Prince. We just going to call you Presley U. And then one of my favorite guys besides Chris Hardy is Centurion Perkins. Everybody wants to speak about the Perkins kid over there at LSU. But I feel like he's along the same lines. He's a guy that can pass rush. He can cover. He can play the run. He's just a utility guy. You got to move him all around. I feel like he's our Michael Parsons. You know what I mean? I just feel like they just really got to be creative with the play calling. Then you got Chris Paul. I've heard nothing but Stephen Willis just speaking the utmost respect to this kid's name out of Arkansas. So I expect big things out of you, Chris Paul. And of course, we got TJ Daugherty from Clemson. He's been doing well in camp along with Raymond Collins. But the guy leading the fort at the wheel linebacker starting is going to be Kyrie Coleman, transfer. So, well, actually, he's not a transfer. He transferred in last year. So hopefully, he comes along. But one of the big time guys out of Alabama, former JUCO guy Trey Amos, lockdown. Believe it or not, he's had some battles with Harris and Wells during camp. He is locked down. And then we got Hamilton Isaiah Hamilton at the other corner. So we have a lot of experience. I also want to see Chris Graves, the former Hurricane, rotate in and do some things because we want our DB unit to be beat. We don't just want the starting guys. We got Trey Washington at safety. He's pretty consistent. A guy returning from last year, along with John Saunders. Outside of Amos, I think John Saunders is the star of the secondary. Then you got Brandon Turnage, another guy that's a senior guy, a guy that's experienced, along with Lewis Moore. These guys at that nickel back position, that star position, they show consistency. So I think our defense is going to be really good. Pete Golden got a lot of flack leaving Alabama, but I think it's coming along, and he doesn't have to be perfect because when you got Lane Kiffin leading the offense, all you got to do is hold them under 20 points. We're going to win every game. So that's basically my update. As far as the return duty, Micah Davis, he was already going to be the return guy, whether Deion Smith came in or not. So he'll be sharing those duties with Ulysses Bennett on the kickoff return. But hopefully we'll find a young guy that can take the return job away from Ulysses. That way he can focus solely on offense. And then at punt return, we got Jordan Watkins. Nobody's doing it besides Jordan. I trust him to take it to the crib. He's probably going to get at least 2 punt returns to the crib this year. So I'm really excited about my Rebels. I try not to be biased, but I'm not going to apologize. This is the school that educated me. This is the school that I played for. If you like to support the channel, it's down at the bottom, the Cash App. $sign TY Ram, Twitter and TikTok at TY Sports Picks 24. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull up the scan, so you can just scan it if you like to donate. I definitely appreciate this is an independent channel. Just give it 1 second, and it'll be up. But yeah, man, you know, I'm really entertained by what Lane Kiffin does on social media. I know a lot of people don't like other times. You know, a lot of times you got coaches that are out of touch. It may not be that you're undisciplined, because you see, in certain instances, he knows how to get on when he needs to, but there's nothing wrong with having fun. That's why I like Coach Chris Kiffin so much, because I remember that. I didn't play for the D-line, but whenever I interacted with him, he was a people person, you know. He, even if you weren't part of the D-line, you know, he interacted with all the players on the team, even the training staff. He didn't act like some of those coaches that's mean all the time. It's like, you know, they got a Debo face. He understood that, you know, it's just a game, but we have to be disciplined. So shout out to Coach Chris Kiffin, returning to Ole Miss. We miss you. We're glad you're back. You know, you in the NFL, but it's nothing like being a Rebel. But yeah, you guys can scan this and donate. It's at $TY Rebel 22. So you know I'm always representing. It's $TY Rebel 22. So that's gonna be my update. Hopefully I'll update you again after the win. Go Rebels, hotty toddy, and put up that land shark. The Dolphins did not create that. RIP Tony Fine. The land shark is Ole Miss's thing. So please donate. I'll see you guys next week. Go on Rebels.